James Gunn apparently talked to Ryan Reynolds about Deadpool showing up in Peacemaker, but I think we would have had to go through some pretty big hoops. This is an IGN report here. Full Nelson, the season finale of Peacemaker Season 2, is now out in the world, and James Gunn is talking about the process of making the episode, including a woulda, coulda, shoulda cameo, but other than Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool from Marvel. During a virtual press conference that Gunn held this week, in which I attended, this writer Scott Kalura, excuse me, the writer-director was asked if there were any universes that he wanted to depict in the finale that he didn't get a chance to include. This is a reference to the many dimensions that are accessible via Peacemaker's quantum unfolding chamber. If you don't watch the show, just trust us, it's a whole thing, several of which are briefly glimpsed in the episode. Yeah, I wanted them to open a door and see Deadpool in a room, Left Gun, and I talked to Ryan Reynolds about it, but I think we would have had to go through some pretty big hoops to do that. He wanted to do it. Of course, since Deadpool exists in the MCU, or at the very least the Fox Marvelverse, which is part of the MCU's multiverse these days, such an appearance would have been confirmation that the DCU and the MCU not only coexist, but could also cross over someday. That said, the legal maneuverings to make such a crossover happen would surely be monumental, so it's not surprising it was a no-go. Gunn also joked that now that he revealed this almost cameo by Reynolds, that's all anybody's going to be talking about now is fucking Deadpool in the other room. I should have never said it, and so that's why we wrote this story. Damn, just a troll. Okay, Chris, how would your brain have responded if at one point one of the doors that Argus opened was Deadpool just like sitting in a chair reading a book, and he looks over and like, I think you're in the wrong universe. Like, damn, that was actually a decent ride.
That was good.
I am shocked by myself.
Okay, now tell me that you want me to buy gin and Mint Mobile. All right.
Well, obviously, you need some aviation. I can only kind of do one little like low tone. I had to practice that. That is not one that I normally do, so I got to practice that. But yeah, what would your thoughts have been if we had just opened a door and there was Deadpool?
I mean, at first blush, this is oh yeah, that's all anyone would talk about, and I think my brain would have short-circuited for a little bit there. But I think what could have been cool here, and follow me on this journey, is do you remember when Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Fallon sang Somewhere Out There together to kind of do this idea of we're not like the other late night hosts of days past. We actually are all rooting for each other, and it's just, hey, you're going to vibe with one of us.
Right.
I kind of feel like that could have been this moment of, hey, there's no bad blood between DC and Marvel. Like, we want all comic book movies to do well. If you like one more than the other, no big deal. But, and I do think Deadpool's the character to probably do that with, because, yeah, you can have that moment of, well, hey there, like your helmet, real shiny. And then, and do something just weird.
I think it would have been good. I mean, the truth is, I think Gunn still got it in there via Vigilante going, oh, we're the Spider-Man team. Ah!
Yeah.
So like, it's clear that Marvel exists, at least as a comic idea, in the DCU. So I don't think it would have been too far-fetched. I do think, though, because the DCU is still so early in its infancy, I think it would have been a distraction from what they're doing, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I'm not anti the idea of that crossover, and if any character we're going to do it, Deadpool specifically is the one that makes the most sense. But I think that like the way to just say, fine, we did it, was to say the Spider-Man meme thing and then to leave it alone. And it's funny how in most cases in life, I don't have a problem with like legal stuff being in the way of things happening. You know, it kind of keeps society moving. And then there's other times where my big nerdy ass is just like, why can't you just let me have the things that I want? Now, mind you, I guess it's probably prevented some like. Do you watch? Have you ever seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood?
You know I have. Of course I have.
I'm just double checking. What I don't need is some Nina like Chimera bastard like showing up with Star Wars and Marvel, and that would have been my bigger concern, because you know that we talked about that earlier about how that almost kind of happened a little bit I can't remember what was it, Guardians? Like Gunn really wants to just throw all of his toys in the same sandbox.
Yeah.
And I think there was this idea that in Guardians at some point maybe Darth Vader would have appeared or something like that. I don't need a Nina. I really don't, because it's just
no one needs a Nina because it just
No.
makes us all sad.
1,000%. I don't want to look.
I
do not want to look at James Gunn like Shao Tucker. I don't. So,
well, and Deadpool would be justified though. He's already somebody who does break the fourth wall. We know has traversed through multiverses, etc. Darth Vader is from a galaxy far, far away, and I don't want him to be a punchline.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So, I mean, but I guess that's the thing when you have Infinity Stones, when you have dimension hopping and all that kind of stuff. Like it's possible.
Yeah.
But if you were gonna bring somebody over, I guess since you've now made him a punchline, I guess you could bring over Boba Fett, which makes me sad. He was probably my favorite Star Wars.
Just him flanked by the Vespa kids.
Bro, have the Vespa kids come in and do their random like gun turns, their little spins.
Be great.
Hey man, hey. But what do y'all think? Would you have been rocking with a Deadpool like quick little cameo in Peacemaker? Do you think that would have been too much? Let us know what you think in the comments, man.
This message is sponsored by Raycon. It's Raycon's anniversary, and what better way to celebrate than with a deal on the Everyday Earbuds Classic? They're now 20% off, so it's the perfect time to get your hands on these. Reliable, super comfy, and easy to take anywhere. You're going to see exactly why they have been a fan favorite since day one. The Everyday Earbuds Classics are loaded with upgrades. You got active noise cancellation, multi-point connectivity, so you can pair with two devices at once, and an ergonomic fit that actually stays put no matter what you're doing. Everyday features that live up to the name. You got a quick charge. 10 minutes gives you 90 minutes of playtime, up to 32 hours of battery life with the case. Awareness mode, perfect when I'm going to take the dog out or if I'm on the train. It's amazing. Over 3 million customers already love Raycons, and they come with a 30-day happiness guarantee. So if you don't love them, returns are easy, so you have nothing to lose. I really dig it. As I mentioned, I'm on the train. I got something to listen to. I got these buds. They're so easy. Pop them in my case, and it's just convenient. So go to buyraycon.com/Christian. Get 20% off the Everyday Earbuds Classic.